Think of what?
What do you think of Bisping yesterday?
In what sense?
I don't know, just with his eye and being out for so long, it just didn't feel like he was
He got
himself.
shut down yesterday. I didn't expect Kennedy to have such a good takedown, good ground game, and his ground game and takedowns were so good. He wasn't pulling the trigger. Bisping didn't want to let his hands go because he was worried about getting taken down again. Got mounted, taken down, mounted, side control. I mean, he got dominated on the ground. No doubt about it. It was all Kennedy. No doubt about it.
Did they tell you it's going to be a sellout Saturday? Is that kind of what they told you? Was they expecting?
Yeah. I mean, well, we're close to a sellout. Yeah. Biggest Fox fight we've ever had as far as ticket sales go, which is saying a lot because Seattle was huge, Chicago did really well, Orlando's killing it.
Is this a bigger arena than some of the other ones?
No, it's ticket sales. Yeah, and we've had some killer events up in Seattle. Seattle was big. This one smoked it. Yeah.
What was the sellout?
I actually lost a massive bet with my executives because I bet that Orlando wouldn't beat the worst Seattle event.
How massive?
Massive. I lost. I was all aggressive and shit, making these guys put up money, and yeah, I got my ass kicked on the Orlando. Yeah, got me.
So why are you so down?
It's not that I'm down on Orlando. I'm down on Florida. Has nothing to do with Orlando. I've been coming to Florida since 2002. But we're down south, and like I said, great ratings, great pay-per-view buys, but ticket sales just was rough, and Orlando blew it out of the water. Cost me a bunch of money.
Can you get an update on Fight Pass? How is it doing so far, and what's the next steps in its growth?
Fight Pass is awesome, and it's doing very well. Better than what we had projected. It's better than what we had projected, and I actually was on a call this morning about Fight Pass. I've been reading Twitter for the people who are on Fight Pass and like it, and asking for more content. I'll give you an example. There was a guy on there today who was talking about there's not enough Ronda Rousey fights on Fight Pass. The reason is when I called today, the guy who's running Fight Pass for us, he said that in the Strikeforce deal, when we did the deal, there was already a deal in place where that stuff couldn't air anywhere else for 3 years. So we left on good terms with Showtime. So we're going to find out if we could get that lifted and get all the Ronda Rousey fights on there. And the thing is with Fight Pass, it's just going to get better and better and better and better. All the content that we acquired, you have to take out old sponsors and a lot of other things that were in there. All that work is being done. We have to, there's different deals with different organizations that we had. Our deal with Fox on when things can go there. So, we're sifting through all of that. So my point is, it's just going to keep getting better.
Can you talk about the new app and how it's going to enhance the fans as they're at the fights themselves?
Yeah, I think that, they were walking me through the app the other day. It's actually very cool on the things that you can do, going into the corners on your app, and you can listen to the commentators, go into the corners. Go ahead, Ed, jump in. What else? What else does it have? Yeah. So it's cool for the fans that are into that stuff. There's a lot of techie guys that are into all these new things that come out. It's a home run.
So you can just choose red or blue corner to listen to.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, so the people
Nice.
who are sitting in the stands can go into the corners. Pretty cool.
Because sometimes when you're watching on TV, you want to know after one round what's been said in the
It's
corner.
true.
You don't get to see it.
And I don't know if you see at our table, but I can pick up the headphones at our table and I can hear, Rogan and Goldie talking. I can go into the corners and listen, so now the fans can do it too. Because there's fights where I'm like, shit, I want to hear what they're saying in the
now.
corner. Exactly.
Yeah, and if it's the right advice.
Exactly, and it's great for you guys.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys
exactly.
can now go into the corners and listen to what's going on, and whether you're talking on social media or whatever you're doing.
Dana, do you have an update on Kane on how his status is and how that recovery is coming along?
I haven't heard anything negative, so it's got to be good. Yeah.
And the date, obviously the rumor I think is November in Mexico. You said you won't go to Mexico without him. If he's not healthy, would you just move that show to the United States?
Yep. Yeah.
And you've got the city of you.
Huh?
You've got the city you'll do there?
No more Mexico
Okay,
questions.
okay,
I
okay.
probably already said too much.
Okay.
My phone was ringing during the thing too. It's probably the guys who run Mexico for us,
But it seems-
telling me to shut my face.
It seems like it took forever. I mean, we've been talking about Mexico for 2 years and a half.
I've been
now.
talking about Mexico since 2001.
So what took that long? I mean, we already know you're going there.
It wasn't an-
April 29th.
The three places I said were no-brainers were the United States, Mexico, and the UK. The two hardest places to get shit done was the UK and Mexico. Even harder than the US. I didn't see it coming.
I know you don't want to talk about it more, but is it finally, are you relieved that the ball is rolling in Mexico? I mean, you have the network, you have the Ultimate Fighting set up.
Let me tell you what, Televisa, when I say Televisa is on board, they are on board. They are engaged, they are excited, and it's going to be our new Brazil.
And is it a relief that a market that you bet so much into and you had so much difficulties getting into, is it a relief to finally get the ball rolling?
It's exciting. I'm very excited about it. I've been telling you guys, and you know this. I mean, it's not like I'm saying this and you guys are like, he's full of shit. That's never going to happen. Amazing talent is going to come out of Mexico. There's going to be guys in multiple weight classes who will hold world titles in the lighter weight divisions from Mexico. The fans in Mexico will totally get behind this thing, and it will blow up, and it will be huge, just like Brazil.
It was a TV deal was the issue in the UK. What was it in Mexico? Was it boxing getting in
Same.
the way?
No. Same thing. Getting the right television deal, and I think what we did. When you look at the UK, it was an example to us for the rest of the world. We went in there and we half-assed it a lot and didn't. Now we know we want to come in. We want to be with the right network. We know we want to be with we want to get the Ultimate Fighter in there. We got all that stuff done now. I'll film this 115-pound women's division. As soon as it gets done, I literally jump right into the next one and start filming tough for Mexico.
You kind of touched on it in the press conference. A lot of people saying Dos Santos never get made up. Why is that not on the main card? Huge
What a fight. What a fight.
You kind of touched on it. Is that kind of the new process moving forward? Is there's a main event?
Well, that's what we always do. That's always been the deal. There's the main event of the prelims. We build that card exactly like we build the Fox fights or the pay-per-view. You build the first fight coming out of the night, and then there's a main event. And they're the main event of that card.
How good is that fight, though?
All these fights are good, man. Are you kidding me? Tell me which fight up here sucks. Which fight up here is not a good fight? I mean, all these fights are going to be great fights, and everybody up here is a finisher. It's true.
Dave,
Or fight to finish.
what eventually sold you on Orlando? You said you were a little skeptical at first.
Nothing sold me. We had a meeting with all my executives, and I got outnumbered. They said, "You're wrong and we're right," and I said, "Let's bet. We'll go to Orlando, but let's lay down some money and let's bet on it." And I lost. I lost the bet, and Orlando was awesome, and it's the biggest Fox gate ever, and they're smart and I'm stupid. They're big and I'm small. What
did you lose? What did you lose?
A lot. I was trying to sweat them and pump them and make them not want to bet that much money, but they all took the bet. And when we look at places, we look at obviously the demographics, how many people are in the area, but we've done all that with Florida before, and it doesn't perform the way that it should. And this one performed.
When you say home run, definitely
Home run
coming back
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
sooner rather than later.
It was an absolute home run. We got to go. We got to have the fight first, and then we'll figure out. I mean, I don't think we're gonna. You traditionally don't come right back. Well, that's not true.
Boston,
if you look at
when I was in Boston.
well, Seattle too. Seattle was a home run. We went right back. I mean, we kept going back to Seattle. So who knows? Maybe we will come right back to Orlando with a pay-per-view.
It's better more.
Oh, really? So apparently, who drove here? Anybody?
Yeah.
There's a car parked in the neighbor's yard, and they're gonna have it towed.
Was that you,
You know what kind of car it is?
There's like 5 of them over there.
Oh, there's 5 of them. Yeah.
Are you parked in the yard?
Can they tell us what kind of cars they are? Yeah, see what kind of cars they
When
are.
this yard, it means their driveway, doesn't
What
it?
a grouch, huh? Relax.
Yeah.
We'll be out of there in a minute. The Cleveland. Oh, we have a whole group of people that follow it very
On the road.
closely. Our division for regulation, and that they follow very closely.
Did you guys get what you tell Delaware when they said you want to be ahead of the curve?
Yeah, well, and Dr. Davidson, our doctor, he's heavily involved in all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, we've been. Listen, the difference, and I was talking about this last night in Quebec, the difference between football and things like that, back then they thought, well, these guys got helmets and pads and all this other stuff. Never in the history of the world did anybody think getting punched in the face was good for you. You know what I mean? It's healthy and things are going to be great. Obviously, we know it's dangerous to get hit in the head, and now the reason we're putting so much money behind it is there's some people out there that believe that, for instance, throughout, if you look at the lineage of a family, there's people who have cancer in their family, there's people who have Alzheimer's and all these different things. Now they're starting to believe that there's people who have in their family genes are more susceptible to brain damage and things like this than other people, and they might be able to test for that gene, and if you have it, you should probably stay away from contact sports. So that's fascinating, and not just us, but we got together with all the other promoters in combat sports, MMA and boxing, and we all kicked in money to fund these studies.
Dana,
Yesterday you said that Vanderlei is hurt, and this is a big issue in Brazil right now. Can you tell more about what are your thoughts?
Vanderlei got hurt in that scrap. He'll be better. He'll be ready for the July card. Yeah.
The fight is on, right?
Huh?
The fight is on.
Yeah, and let me tell you what. I saw people, a lot of Brazilians, talking about how upset they are with Vanderlei and the way they don't like each other. It's not Vanderlei's fault, and it's not Chael's fault. It's our production crew's fault. It's the people who are in that building that didn't. You think that shit doesn't happen in the United States? Yes, it happens. Guys get heated sometimes. I would never let them touch each other. You don't let it happen. It's not Vanderlei's fault, and it's not Chael's fault. They don't like each other. Everybody knows they don't like each other. They passionately do not like each other. Chael Sonnen says things about his forehead and talks about all this other stuff and has talked about Brazil and all these other things that's happened. And Vanderlei is a very emotional guy. They don't like each other, and they should have never been allowed to lay their hands on each other. Period. End of story. It's nobody's fault. It's our fault. It's our production people's fault. It's the people who are in that gym and let those two guys put their hands on each other.
A lot of fans, they are talking bad. Like a lot of people who were cheering for Vanderlei before, right now they are cheering for Sonnen because of what happened. Can you talk a little bit about that, like for the sport? Do you think it was a bad thing to expose?
The thing almost happened at a expo that they were at too, like the Musclehead Expo, whatever that thing is that they had in Vegas. But there were people there that aren't going to let them, physically put their hands on each other. And our people that work in Brazil that run that production should have never let that happen.
Do you think that it's exposed? Because the exposure was so big in Brazil because it was there on global, So could you talk about like the reaction of the fans? Because they are kind of talking really bad about Vanderlei right now and about Dida and all.
About the MMA at all.
About Vanderlei and what?
About MMA at all, like saying that brings again violence, that it took so long in
Listen,
Brazil to
listen. I don't disagree with the fans. It's despicable that our people in Brazil that were running the production let these guys put their hands on each other. I don't know what else to say. They don't like each other. Both those guys don't like each other, and it should have never been allowed to go that far.
Are you saying that?
Signed already?
Huh?
Both guys, they signed already. They want them to fight.
Yeah, they're gonna fight.
Are you saying someone allowed Chael to be bullied in that scenario down there then, or not?
Not to be bullied. How are you going to bully a fighter? Fighters can't be bullied. What I'm saying is, it was allowed to go too far.
Yeah.
You can't bully Chael. Chael talks more shit about people than anybody you've ever met. You know what I mean? This is the fight business. There's no such thing as bullying. It's just two professionals who dislike each other were allowed to get too far, to go too far. And
You have to draw the line somewhere, don't you, basically, and that's the point.
yeah,
There has to be a line
they're
drawn,
professional
yeah.
fighters.
Dana,
They're not monkeys.
do you see the final cut before it airs?
Huh?
Do you see the final cut before it airs, or do you guys? And at first, when you
Final
saw
cut has nothing to do with. I saw it the minute it happened.
Yeah.
The minute it happened, I saw it.
Were you expecting the backlash that it probably, that the ladies are saying it got in
Sure.
Brazil? Yeah.
Yeah, why would you not get backlash from it? These guys should have never been allowed to put their hands on each other. It's ridiculous.
But when one talks,
And then the other guy comes running in and sucker punches him.
Right.
You know?
How were the ratings?
Sure, they were great.
but having
I don't know.
talked to Chael, he didn't have an easy time.
This season is rating off the charts.
Is it better than the first?
Yeah.
Was Globo upset that the fight was moved to Brazil?
Did what?
Because you said Globo wanted that fight in Brazil. Were they annoyed that it had to be moved because of the injury?
I think we're all annoyed that it had to be moved, you know? Especially for the reason it had to be moved.
That was the reason you couldn't talk about was the injury.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why when you guys kept asking me about it's like the show's running. I can't. And then, you know, a lot of people, I saw that there were a lot of people were saying, oh, that fight was fake. It was staged. It was, there was nothing fake or staged about it. I wish it was fake and staged.
Do you know why Chael's calling out Rich Franklin on Twitter?
I have
now?
no. You know why Chael does half the things Chael does? I have no idea.
Dana, does Fabricio has an advantage to be a coach in the Ultimate Fighter in Latin America because he speaks fluent Spanish?
Yes.
Is it going to be against Velasquez? Velasquez already signed to be a coach. Is Cain Velasquez going to be one of the coaches, or?
I have no idea. I don't know what's happening in Mexico.
Dana, are there
No
guys
more Mexico questions.
Are there guys on this card that could potentially get themselves a number one contender spot with a big win on Saturday?
Yeah, the two heavyweights.
Besides the main event guys.
No, I don't know.
Barbosa win? He beat Cerrone.
What's Barbosa ranked?
Seven.
He's 11th ranked
11,
right now.
sorry.
11, yeah, and Cerrone's in top 10, yeah.
8.
So yeah, I mean, obviously a win for Barbosa. You know,
But you've got Dos Anjos and Nurmagomedov who are 7 and 6.
Right,
or something,
right. Yep.
Dave, have you spoken to George St. Pierre since the surgery?
I did. No, but I think Lorenzo did. Yeah.
You still feel pretty confident that he'll fight again? I mean, some people say that maybe that kind of changed things.
You're right. No, that's a big curveball. I mean, nobody saw that one coming. So who knows?
Did you find out from him or from the tweet? Or did you find out like everybody else on the tweet?
No, we heard from them. Yeah.
Does that change your stance? Because in Dallas, you said you thought 100% he's coming back.
Yeah, definitely changed it. Yeah.
But on the flip side, it could be like this is the kind of guy who needs something like that, and this is going to force him to really come back.
I don't know.
So you're
It's tough to come back. Listen, I just think, you know, giving up your belt is crazy, and you know, and then you have a plan. I'm going to give up the belt. I'm going to take some time off. I'm going to handle my stuff, and then I'm going to come back. And then you blow your ACL out, and it's just, you know, you never know. Life throws all these curveballs at you, man, and you never know what's going to happen. It's like Verdun when we were talking about that today. It's like he was off for so long, and then Kane gets hurt, and I'm like, you got to fight, man. You can't do this stuff. You can't take this time off because you never know what's going to happen.
so right now you think he's probably not coming back.
Who?
GSP.
Oh, I have no idea.
I mean, you're not as confident.
I have no idea. I mean, anything is possible. I don't know.
Dana, what about Vitor? Have you spoke with him at all about how?
I haven't talked to Vitor since that whole thing went down.
I mean, is that a fight you're confident will happen like this year though? I mean, it was so much.
Who?
Vitor in the winter.
I have no idea.
There's so much interest in him, you know, after that 2013, which is something that.
Yeah, not from you guys. You guys were just interested in getting his ass kicked and getting him out of there. Like I say all the time, the media got what they want. Vitor's gone.
Well, TRT or not, I think we all think he's really talented. So, when do you think you'll have a discussion with him and see how it's going?
I don't know. I haven't heard a word from him. You know, he's got a lot of shit to clear up. You know, he's got to handle that, not us.
Is he still the number one contender in your mind? I mean, as long as when he comes back, is he still in line for a title shot in your mind?
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
How do you balance the? I tried to ask you this last night, but how do you balance the excitement in the welterweight division now with the kind of loss of GSP for the Canadian market?
I don't know. It just is what it is. I mean, I don't think the 170-pound division's ever been more exciting than it is right now. I mean, it's very exciting. But people always ask me these questions about what if this guy leaves. Life goes on, man. Life goes on without you. You know, if you retire, if you take time off, if you disappear, life just keeps right on rolling, man. It doesn't sit around and wait for you to come back.
But he was a massive draw for Canada, wasn't he? In terms of you making money in Canada as well.
I don't look at that though.
Yeah.
We do our thing. We put on fights, and you know, people who want to see the fights want to see them, and I don't think like that.
You talk about the Jones-Glover fight. It seems like you guys are so busy that sometimes, you don't even talk about a fight until it's like the day before the fight. Like, are you pretty excited about that one?
Yeah,
You think it's
well,
flying
funny
under the
because I was
radar,
just, when we were driving over here, I was going through that card too. And that card is awesome too. That card is just packed with great fights, and obviously, I think a lot of people are sleeping on Glover Teixeira.
Like Gustafsson.
I think because he's gotten wobbled a couple times in fights. The guy still hasn't lost a fight in like 5 years or something, and is on an unbelievable win streak, and he does knock everybody out. So a lot of people are sleeping on that fight. But again, if Jones goes out and Jones destroys Glover Teixeira, I mean, John Jones, what that guy has had to do to win the title and keep the title is pretty amazing. He's gone through Murderer's Row at 205. He's fought the who's who. That insane fight with Gustafsson. I mean, look, Jones is pretty badass. I mean, I know people don't, you don't like his personality, whatever it is. You cannot deny the fact that the kid has really accomplished a lot.
He's still only 26, but there are some people who think that he just doesn't have that personality that people are going to really truly get behind.
Right.
I mean, at this point, like sometimes people just don't change, right? I mean, do you think that he'll be one of those guys that people love the way he fights, but just don't love him?
You never know. I mean, look at Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes went through the same thing. He was great at the time, but the difference is between Larry Holmes and a John Jones is John Jones really has gone through. I mean, the people that look at the fight with Henderson and Shogun, and look how easy he beat Shogun, and what the kid's done is amazing. He's incredibly talented, and he's not even in his prime yet. 28, 29 years old, you're in your prime.
So Dana, how can you then say that Barao is better than him pound for pound?
I could say the same thing about Barao. Look what Barao has done. Here's the thing about Renan Barao. Renan Barao, I don't care how good you are or how badass you are. Everybody has that day where they get up and go, fuck, man, I just don't feel it today. Renan Barao, look at how many fights he's had, and look how long he's gone undefeated. People don't give enough credit for how hard it is to go undefeated in this sport, and then to have the belt and keep defending it.
Jones is essentially undefeated, other than that screw up in Nevada.
Right? No, I agree.
You can make the case.
He is undefeated.
He is.
Jones is undefeated.
He's fought a tougher. I mean, he's fought a who's who. He's fought
but so has Barao. Barao's fought the who's who in his weight division.
The level of competition, you think, is the same?
Yes.
John Jones?
Yes.
Shogun, Rampage,
Yeah.
all these guys?
All the big names.
Right.
But you can't look at it that way. How the fuck do you know how really talented these guys are that he fought coming up? What do you think? Renan Barao fought a bunch of bums? No, he fought the best of the best in his weight division. And when you look at it pound for pound, you say, how would this guy do if he fought guys in other weights at the same size? Barao is fucking explosive. He finishes people, and I just
technical
if you
efficiency,
really exactly
all of those
if
things.
you really look at what the pound for pound really means, it actually drives me crazy when guys that are heavyweights or fucking or light heavyweights are even considered in the pound for pound. You know what I mean? But anyway,
It'd be great to see those two.
Just my opinion.
Great to see those two fight at 205.
Aldo's injured. He's coming back. No. He had some minor injuries. He's good with that. There's this thing that he has to do to prepare to start getting ready for a fight because his neck is messed up. So he has to go through some type of therapy every time before he starts training. Yeah.
Is Mendes the next contender? I mean, it seems
Yeah, I think so.
What is it, to loosen the neck up, is it, or something?
Yeah.
To get tight?
Yeah. I don't know. You got to ask his people about it, but yeah. He has to go through some type of therapy before he starts training.
every time.
Every time before a fight, yeah.
So do you have any time frame then?
I think so, yeah. Makes Went great. He's recovering now. Yeah. Unfortunately, yes.
How about Weidman? Have you talked to him? There were some people that were saying, hey, that might be a little quick for him.
No, he's good.
I think that's not going to be a problem.
Yep.
No nerves.
No, you bounce right back from that surgery, apparently.
So do you have a time frame for Aldo then? When's he going to do that thing with his neck?
He did it. He's doing it now. I think it's. I think we're looking at September for him. Don't quote me on that, but in that ballpark.
David, the new season Ultimate Fighter premiered last night, 19. What do you think of Penn and Edgar, and what made you want to get that matchup, part 3?
BJ called me and said, he wanted to do that fight. Me and BJ have butted heads his entire career, but I really respect and like BJ. And this is sort of his last hurrah. So how could I deny him of it? Neither did Frankie. Frankie gave him the opportunity.
You think he'll be the same guy? He's had a little bit of time off. You think he'll still be that prodigy that we remember?
You never know, man. I don't know.
Do you feel that people like BJ Penn and Big Nog, you need to step in and protect them from themselves pretty soon?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, Big Nog for sure.
Officially announced that Rory and Tyron is the number one contender spot. What about Matt Brown? He lost the fight. He didn't get the title fight. That's by Eric Silva, another ranked guy. Where does he fit in? But is that fight?
Well, it's one of those unfortunate situations where the kid's never been injured, has fought in all these fights. He finally gets that big fight and gets hurt. It's just, you know how it is here, man. Like I said, shit just keeps moving here. Life rolls on, and he's got to get himself back in position again. And that's a tough fight for him. I mean, Eric Silva is nasty. I don't know. Yeah. Obviously an important fight, but we'll see. Robbie Lawler's still floating around out there too, That was a close fight.
Just a general question is, after Pacquiao beat Bradley, it was talk about a fifth fight with Marquez, and it got me curious as to, is there like a cutoff for you?
What?
That's the fight.
Are you
he beats
fucking
Alvarado.
kidding me?
No, that's what they're looking at. If he beats Alvarado.
Oh my God, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, Pacquiao wants to avenge the knockout, of course, and Marquez probably from monetary reasons.
That is fucking ridiculous. That's
Do you have
embarrassing.
a cutoff? Like maybe Kane and Jr. could fight like one more time?
No.
Like 3
2
is
to
the
1.
cutoff?
I mean, 2 to 1. It's over. Listen, that guy's still flowing. I mean, Junior Dos Santos is still, one of the best heavyweights in the world. So it's tough, but I don't know, man.
He beat him up for 50
The Pacquiao, that's just fucking ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Take the $20 million from Floyd. Take the $20 million.
Well, Pacquiao wants Floyd.
Floyd will take it as long as Pacquiao doesn't want too much money. Take the $20 million. Fucking good problems to have. Oh, fuck it, I'll take the $20 million. Jesus.
But that kind of situation is what underpins your thinking in the UFC, isn't it? It directly affects. You would never allow that to happen. The best not
I
to
don't know.
fight.
It's just. I can't be the only guy going, what the fuck on that one, right?
Well, I think the media have a duty to challenge them over it
Right.
again and again and again.
I agree too. That's crazy.
Do you think that's where the UFC separates itself from boxing? Obviously,
I certainly hope so. I certainly hope
What
so.
are you going to do then, though? Because I mean, Junior could easily be right back on the 2 within 7.
He
8
could.
months.
But somebody else could be the champ too. You never know. We'll see what happens. We got to see how this thing plays out. But dude, if I get to the point where I'm having the same guys fight 7 times, man, punch me in the face at that press conference, please. Please.
Can we ask you about Travis again? Obviously, we asked you up there, but as you say, I mean, I've spent a lot of time interviewing him recently. The changes in him are quite extraordinary, aren't
man.
they?
Let me tell you what.
Just the mottos he comes up with for himself, and then he follows them for a while.
Not only that, man. You notice every conversation. I was watching some of the footage from when we went to film him for Road to the Octagon, and he's a completely different person, man. He's talking about knocking people out. I'm going to finish everybody. I'm this. He is meaner. He's nastier. And I honestly think, and I don't know, I haven't had the chance to sit down and really talk to him. I honestly think that Alistair Overeem fight changed him, completely changed him into a different person. He talked to me at night after the fight and said he's never felt so close to death, and the shots that he took to the body were unbelievable. And after that fight, he's a completely different person now. He's meaner. He's more motivated, and I don't know if that showed him that he really belongs in the upper echelons of the heavyweight division, or that he should be the champion or something, but he's a different guy. And what he just said to me up here when we were talking about it, he said, I was a boy when I came on into the UFC, and I became a man here. So whatever that means,
He said he's found that he's become a role model for showing anyone in life, whatever they do, how you come back from adversity. And I think that's the way he's grown.
He definitely showed it. He definitely showed it. It looked like he was going away, and he knocked Alistair out. And I tell you what, that fight changed Alistair over him too.
Do you think if you grew a beard like him, it would change you?
If I grew a beard
like him, would it change you?
If I was as fucking tough as him, it would change me. I mean, that guy's just, he is a nasty, nasty dude. And, how did I not say this? Look what he did to Josh Barnett. Who does that to Josh Barnett? The answer is nobody does that to Josh Barnett.
Well, he's like a crazy athlete. It's almost like you guys do enough, but you almost like just send a recruiting team out to all like the JUCO basketball teams and just pull them in. You know?
Well, I think that's what's happening anyway. As the sport gets bigger and there's more money in the sport, and you're going to see guys that would have played other sports like basketball or football becoming fighters, man.
But it makes a difference with him because he's 6'7" and in proportion as well, isn't he? That's the major thing.
And his takedown defense is awesome now. This is a fun fight on Saturday. Verdum is a different fighter too. His stand-up's better than it was, but his jiu-jitsu was just phenomenal. So.
Is it a weird toss-up for you though? Because if you get Verdum, you might be able to do a cane.
I don't think like that.
No, okay.
I don't start thinking about that shit till after the fight's over. Yep.
And what do you think of taking the underdog for this fight?
What do I think about what?
You're taking the underdog for this fight.
Yeah, I get it. It's not like I think if you look at the last two outings that he's had, he knocks out Alistar Overeem after the beginning of that fight, the way that it went. Then he knocks out Josh Barnett the way that he did, and Verdum's been gone. He's been, I told Verdum, you need to come back and fight. You've been gone now for a year and a half to fight in a big title fight. People need to see you fight again. I'm not shocked that he's the underdog.
And have you talked to Shogun after his fight?
I haven't talked to Shogun. I like Shogun very much. That was a tough one for him, He was winning that fight easily. Oh, sorry, man, that's me. He was winning that fight easily, and he got caught. But he's such a good guy and such a tough guy too.
Since Ariel's here, can we clarify Cormier and Henderson?
Yeah, well, ask Ariel.
So
Apparently
what is happening
is...
with Daniel Cormier and Dan Henderson?
It's not done yet.
Okay, we've all announced it after you anyway.
It's not done yet. When the fight gets done, he'll announce it. And let
can you let Dana know when it's done so he can let us know then? Yeah.
And,
Where's it going to be?
I'm hearing Memorial Day in Las Vegas.
There you go.
When you know all the details, tell Dana and he can call the press
no
conference.
fight has been announced.
No, I know it's not announced. That's why I'm asking you.
All right. No.
Okay.
No fight has been announced. Last time you said it was 4th of July.
No, I said it was targeted.
Targeted. It was targeted for 4th of July.
I believe it was.
Was it? There you go, everybody.
Dan, after everything you've accomplished with the UFC, I mean, what's the one thing that you're most proud of? Is it your perseverance? Is it everything you've accomplished?
It's the fights. It's just the fights.
Where you progressed
the one thing that I'm absolutely proud of is in 13 years and all the fights that we've done, these guys always come and deliver, man. The fighters always deliver. Like I always say, I can count on one hand how many shows have sucked in 13 years out of all the fights that we've done.
Well, and how many shows going in that everybody was like, oh, this is going to
exactly.
suck. And then they turn into be the best thing ever.
It's true. It's and it's true. I mean, these guys always deliver. I always say we're the bells and whistles, and they're they got to go in and put the stamp on it, and just they always do, man. And that's the funnest part for me.
Sure.
Last night we were up in Quebec, and it was an awesome night. I mean, it was great fights. The main event wasn't what people expect, and usually, I mean, tell me, is this not true? Every time there's a ton of shit talking, you're like, oh god damn, this fight's gonna be good. It's always the shit talking fights.
Never trust the public with any game or any kind of bet that they think that's gonna happen. Never trust them.
That fight created a lot of hype and excitement around the thing, and everybody else came in and stole the show last night. It was really good. The Ultimate Fighter kids were great.
First trash talk that Poirier fight, wasn't it?
Huh? Poirier fight was fucking awesome.
He was hurt and then brilliant.
Yes, that fight was awesome. KJ Noons looked awesome last night. I mean, it was just, this is what I love. I love the fights. I'm excited for this fight. I'm excited for, Abu Dhabi was a great show, and this is going to be great. And it's fun.
Just real quick, what do you think Phil Davis can achieve next week? He's kind of already ranked like right there, number 4, number 5. I mean, is this a situation where you're not going to go very far, but just get a really dominant win?
like Phil, and I don't want to throw Phil under the bus, but Phil needs to get over that mental hump and he needs to get on the internet and fucking check the rankings and see where he's ranked. He's one of the best light heavyweights in the world, but he doesn't come off to me like he's like, dude, I got guys breathing down my fucking neck for fights. Yeah, I want this fight. I want a title fight. I want this. I want that. Phil Davis is that guy. I'll hang out around number 4 here, and he's not that guy that comes across to me like I fucking want it. I want to be the champ. I want to be the best in the world. I want to be this. He's just sort of
Does that translate to the champions though? Do you see GSP, Anderson, all the guys, Liddell coming at you in that way?
Yeah.
Of like, I want this guy anytime.
Yeah, I said it last night to the people that were up in Quebec. Ronda Rousey.
So fight dudes.
She's the new Chuck Liddell for me.
Yeah.
She doesn't give a shit. She'll fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. I can throw her on 3 cards back-to-back headliners. She'll do it. She'll fight on 24 hours notice. She'll film 2 movies in between.
There's something to be said for that, isn't there?
You're saying she puts pressure on you, doesn't she?
Yeah, well, she wasn't. I didn't have her set to fight on 4th of July. She called me. And she was, she was pretty pushy about it, actually. And I respect that. Listen, we run a business here where we're doing 94 fights a month. We need fights, and we need fighters to step up and take these fights. And Ronda Rousey is the only one I can compare her to is Chuck Liddell. I've never seen anything like it. She's awesome, man.
Just a question on Fight Pass, something you raised earlier. You may not be able to answer this now, but you know how well it's growing. Will you ever be able to get to the point where you can have a 2-tier system where you can reward the number of fans you have on Fight Pass by giving them, and I mean everything, and the pay-per-views, all just on Fight Pass, and then everything else is on television that's pay-per-view? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you have enough people signed up to Fight Pass, like 25 million, you're making enough money not to worry about, because they are subscribed.
That would be fantastic.
Is that what you're heading towards,
I
do you
don't
think?
know. I mean, if we got to that, that would be fantastic. Obviously, we have a lot of other partners, DirecTV, Dish Network, In Demand. But
it just gives you an autonomy if you've got that then.
Do I think that's the future?
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
I do think that's
the future. It gives you more autonomy over your own product then, doesn't it?
Yep. Yep. He's ready to punch you right in the head
Sorry,
over there.
sorry.
Okay?
You doing a video blog?
I'll punch him straight back, don't worry.
No.
I would love to be just like in the background of one of your video blogs.
Oh, I think you probably are. He's over there fucking drinking.
Right.
He's over there shooting the shit. He's got people to talk to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, are you doing a video blog for this one? I said, yeah, you probably.
I just want to be in the background. That's it.
He's got shit to do. He's over there talking to all his friends and stuff, Hey, you take it easy over there, all right? Relax. Have a Zions and relax. That's funny. That's it. You done with me?
I spotted Ray Sefo in here today. Are you guys friends?
What the hell is he doing here? World Series of Fighting infiltrated our press conference? Yeah, we're cool. He's a good guy.
Does he ever come to you for advice on how to kind of start a promotion?
No, he's been in the game for a long time. He knows what he's doing. He's a good guy. They're all good guys over there. I like them. I respect them. And yeah.
He trains about 20 of your UFC fighters. So he trains about 20 UFC
Yeah, he's usually at all the weigh-ins too, because he trains lots of guys, and he's a very well-respected guy in the MMA world.
Awesome.
Just another thing in Brazil. Everybody's talking about Big Nog retirement or not. What's your opinion?
I think he should retire. I think Big Nog should retire. He's had an amazing career. He is one of those guys who is not only, all the fighters, everybody respects Big Nog. The fans love him, the fighters love him, and Ariel hit me right after that fight and said, what do you think? You want to retire? He's all over that. I said, I wanted Big Nog to take the time to come out and say what he wanted to say, and then I heard that he wanted to fight again, and I'm not interested. I think he should retire. He's had a great career. He's made a lot of money, and
not even like the last fight in Brazil, maybe because he really wants to, do something.
I don't like it, but I got to sit down and talk to him.
You haven't talked yet,
I don't
right?
like it though. No, we still haven't talked. You know, I've been flying everywhere. He was in Abu Dhabi. You know, and I heard he had a bad flight experience with Abu Dhabi, which, by the way, that wasn't the airline's fault. That was our fault. We made that mistake, not them. Poor Big Nog was stuffed in an economy seat the whole way there. Now he's going to tell me how we fucked up his flight and I owe him another fight because of that.
Do you think this might be the last show for Vanderlei too?
The last fight for Vanderlei? Probably. I mean, I think, I can't speak for Vanderlei, but I think that he looks at this as his last, you know.
Seems like dealing with a lot of injuries recently, so that's why.
Not as bad as 2012, though, thank God. You know, injuries are always going to be a part of this thing. And we've been talking, and you heard the guys up here today toning down in their sparring. And these guys need to start doing it like boxing, building a camp around just one person, not like when Kane and Daniel Cormier are fighting around the same time, they murder each other in the gym. They literally, there's times that I hear that it's almost like a pay-per-view watching these two spar, and that's crazy. They shouldn't be sparring like that. That's just insane.
How do you draw the balance though between learning? How do these guys find the line then between learning to take headshots and to react to
I don't think it's about learning to take headshots. It's about when you spar, it's about timing and
what's a soft hard or
to get into fighting shape, you have to fight. I mean that's how it works, and you have to have the cardio, the timing, but you don't have to murder each other. And the way that they do it in boxing is you build a camp around a guy, and these sparring partners come in and work with him. They don't try to fucking kill the guy who's fighting for a title. And that's where MMA needs to get.
Because of concussions and those kind of things as well, yeah.
Well, not just concussions. I mean,
people are fighting through them in the gym, aren't they? That's the problem.
Yeah, you don't take the damage in your fight. You take all the damage in the training for the fight. You know, and that's where you realize that guys, when they're getting ready for fights, do hundreds of rounds of sparring. You're taking more damage there in the gym in your sparring than you actually will in the fight.
Well, Mark Munoz told me the other day when he went to the Matt Hamill fight and he was knocked out. Do you remember a few years ago?
Yeah.
He'd taken a knee in sparring that week, and he said he was cloudy even sitting in his dressing room that night before he went in to fight Hamill. And surely fighters have a duty to say, I can't fight if I'm concussed. I know it's not nice for the promoter, but at some point, a decision has to be made. Some guys do it because they've got to feed their family.
I agree with you 100%, but that's the problem. The problem, too, is that these guys will try to hide a lot of this stuff from us, you know?
Exactly. And they should be encouraged not to.
It's not a good idea.
They should be encouraged not to, yeah?
They're encouraged not to, believe me. Joe Silva flips out when he finds out the guys are injured and they didn't tell him. You know, they are encouraged not to.
A lot of Brazilian idols, they are losing their fights, and like we are losing a lot of champions that were really famous on there before. Do you fear that this maybe could affect the popularity of MMA in Brazil?
What's the question? That the idols are losing their fights?
Like their belts, you know, like Junior dos Santos.
Yeah.
Does it have to do with the popularity in Brazil?
Yeah,
Will it
like
hurt the
the-
popularity?
yeah.
Oh, will it hurt the guys? Listen, how many times do I got to say this? This is a young man's game. A young man's game. The idols, they're getting old. I mean, you can't do this forever. There's a small window to where you can actually do this. Some of these guys, like a guy like Nog, I mean, look how long his career has gone and the fights that he's been in, the wars and the battles that guy's been in. The new idols are coming up now. The Aldos and the Barraus and, you know, the Eric Perez's and these type of guys. I mean, these are the new guys that are going to be the new heroes in Brazil.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
Very, very good.
All right.
Very lucid.